Tetzaveh. The garb of the priests, and especially of the high priest, are lechavod uletiferet. They express a certain honor and dignity, a certain glory and beauty. But they do much more than that, as I hope to explain. And let me speak of one particular garment which adorned the high priest. V'asita tzitz zahav tahor. And you shall make, commands God, a head plate of pure gold. And there should be written on that head plate, Kodesh Lashem, holy unto the Lord. And the head plate with the words holy unto the Lord were placed on a cord of tchelet, turquoise blue, royal blue, upon the turban worn by the high priest. You know that to a great extent every Jew is supposed to be a Kohen. Because when God gave the Torah, we read it just a few weeks ago, He called us a Goy Kadosh Umamlechet Kohanim, a sacred nation and a kingdom of priest teachers, of Kohanim, which means every Jew is a Kohen. Every Jew will become a Kohen, more correctly spoken, in the Messianic age when we will be teaching the world God's will. And therefore, every Jew has a little bit of the uniform, of the special garb of the high priest. The high priest, when he served in the temple, was adorned with a turban. And the Gemara says, in Kiddushin and in Shabbat, that important personages in the 6th century of the Common Era, at the end of the Amoraic period, like Rav Ashi, would not go 4 cubits without a head covering. And the Talmud quotes a verse from Psalms, Shchinati l'ma'ala mimeni. The divine presence is above me. So as a symbol of the consciousness of the Jew, that there's someone above him, guarding him, strengthening him, loving him, commanding him. The Jew wears a head covering just as the high priest wore the turban. And then the head plate on a cord of tchelet, the special turquoise blue, Kodesh Lashem, holy unto the Lord. And that head plate is called a tzitz. And every Jew wears tzitzit. Certainly every male is commanded. And tzitzit literally is a small tzitz. Now the priests, the Kohanim, the Kohen Gadol especially during Talmudic times and temple times, were charged with sometimes becoming Sadducees rather than the Pharisee tradition of Talmudic interpretation. And Sadducees were considered heretics. So the priest, the Kohen Gadol, has to have Kodesh Lashem, holy unto the Lord, on his head, the place of his brains. Because his mind, his theology has to be holy unto the Lord. he has to be a Pharisee and not a Sadducee. Regular Jews have to guard themselves from the major sin that one commits with one's body, sexual sins. Therefore, the ritual fringes of the tzitzit symbolizes holy unto the Lord. You shall look upon them, and you shall become holy. But they're in the underpart of one's body, because that's his vulnerable spot. And our tzitzit also is supposed to be of tchelet, that turquoise, royal blue, which first of all was worn by kings because it came from the chilazon mollusk, which was very rare, and it was from this mollusk that the dye was extracted, the turquoise blue dye. And therefore it was worn by kings, and every Jew must realize, no matter how he may be persecuted and hated by the rest of the world, the Jew is royalty, comes from Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. And the turquoise blue reminds the Jew of the sea and the heavens, and God, the creator of the world, and his responsibility as a Kohen teacher to impart Judaism to the world as well. So we have our uniform: the kippah, the talit, the tzitzit. And every one of us is bize'er on pin a little bit of the high priest. And hopefully every Jew will one day become truly a Kohen when we reach the period of redemption. Shabbat Shalom.